Happy Halloween, fellow Decepticons. SoundBlaster1987 here with my Halloween special and October monthly vlog for 2024. Arachnophobics beware, because this video is all about Tarantulas, Blackarachnia and Airachnid. So, for those who don't know, Tarantulas and Blackarachnia were the two spider Predacons from the Transformers Beast Wars line from 1996. Tarantulas was a member of the original group of Predacons led by Megatron to prehistoric Earth, while Blackarachnia was a former maximal protoform who was corrupted by Tarantulas' re-engineering of the protoform stasis pod, using a Predacon shell program to reassign the faction loyalty of the protoform within. So, Tarantulas actually turned out to be a spy for the Predacon secret police, who was basically infiltrating the renegade Megatron's group from within to undermine his attempt to rewrite history by destroying the original Generation 1 Optimus Prime while he was still in stasis aboard the Autobot ship the Ark for 4 million years. But of course this plan ended up backfiring in one way or another. Tarantulas is also a sneaky, sly, creepy and all-round horrifying scientist and engineer type character who was supposed to be like the Predacon's equivalent of Rhinox, as the main scientist and medic officer of the team. But he is a little bit too obsessed with the Arachnid type forms, as he seems to try and consistently team up with Blackarachnia and Quickstrike against Megatron in one way or another, because he appears to be partially sort of Starscream-esque in some ways, behaviour-wise as well, much like Pterosaur. I'll get into the history of Pterosaur in another video, but for now, the episode 8 of the original Beast Wars cartoon in 1996 showed the origins of Blackarachnia as another maximal protoform corrupted by the Predacons. Specifically by Tarantulas, because he wants as many spider formers as he can get to build an army of arachnids to overthrow Megatron with, in addition to destroying the Maximals. Blackarachnia is of course the famously flirtatious femme-fatale of the Predacon team, who ended up falling in love with the Maximal Fuse-Off Silverbolt, and then of course the two ended up joining forces permanently from Season 3 of Beast Wars all the way through to Beast Machines, when Blackarachnia basically sacrificed herself to stop Megatron from carrying out his plan of destroying G1 Optimus Prime, because being a maximal protoform originally, Blackarachnia realised that she herself would be erased from history if Optimus Prime's original form was destroyed prematurely by Beast Wars Megatron, because this would create a time paradox in which the Maximals never existed, because the Decepticons won the war before it even started. As a result of this, Blackarachnia basically fell all into her love for Silverbolt and joined the Maximals, gaining her Transmetal 2 form in the process of Season 3 around the time that Cheetor and Megatron and Optimus Primal got their upgraded forms. Tarantulas was one of the Predacons who received the Transmetal 1 upgrade during Season 2, along with Rat Trap, Cheetor, Optimus Primal and Megatron. Of course, they didn't have the CGI budget to transmetalize the entire cast of the show, but they did do quite a few of the best characters in my opinion with that particular technique. In addition to Blackarachnia and Tarantulas, there was also the Arachnoid Micro Machines type playset that you can get around the Beast Wars era. It was basically an orange, purple and green giant spider thing that unfolded into a sort of minifigure, sort of Micro Machines or Polly Pocket style playset, headquarters type of thing. Then, of course, obviously, Tarantulas was never seen again after the Beast Wars cartoon, or at least none of the original Beast Wars continuity anyway. But he did get a few new toys here and there, including a more cartoon-accurate repaint of his original toy in the 10th anniversary line in 2006 as part of a Transmutate Build-A-Figure wave, and an even more cartoon-accurate repaint in the Telemoka series in Japan. But then of course he also got a Cybertronian style form in the body of a Reveal the Shield Wreck Guard retool They came with a couple of mini spider drones were attached to his arm to replicate the sort of pincer claw hands he had in the cartoon. I still think the reveal of the Shield Rat Guard toy is not the best figure in the first place, let alone not right for a Tarantulas retool. But I digress. Blackarachnia has by far the most overwhelmingly continuous legacy of all the spider formers in the Transformers line because, of course, not only was she the inspiration for the Airachnid character from Transformers Prime, but she's also spun off in her own ways in more ways than one. I'll come back to her in a moment. But yes, Blackarachnia was one of the main Maximals for most of the Beast Machines cartoon, as well as appearing as a main Decepticon adversary in Transformers Animated, as a former version of Elita 1 who was a close friend of Optimus and Sentinel Prime before she was mutated by a load of organic spiders on an unsanctioned mission gone wrong. Basically, she got bitten by the spiders and her natural Cybertronian ability to download the powers of others didn't exactly work on the organic venom of the spiders, and her body started to pulsate and mutate until it turned into a spider-like techno-organic monstrosity. She found an abandoned Decepticon helmet in the wreckage of the Decepticon ship Twilight that she and Optimus and Sentinel were supposed to be raiding for energon cubes at the time. She wore the helmet and ended up renaming herself Blackarachnia, joining the Decepticons because she knew the Autobots' hatred of organics would never accept her back into their ranks afterwards. As a result, she ended up with a permanent grudge against Optimus Prime and Sentinel Prime for leaving her to basically just be left for dead at this point. The original Blackarachnia in the 1996 series was voiced by Venus Terzo, who would later go on to voice Jean Grey in X-Men Evolution in 2001. While Blackarachnia in Transformers Animated was voiced by Cree Summer, aka Number 5 from Kids Next Door, who I've already talked about in my previous Kids Next Door animation review. Cree Summer also voiced Elita 1 in the animated series, and several other characters throughout the Transformers franchise. Then, of course, there was the IDW 2005 comic book run, in which Tarantulas was basically the lab assistant to the mad scientist Shockwave and G-Axis from the Decepticon ranks. Formerly from a beast colony of the planet Eucharis, Tarantulas ended up teaming up with G-Axis and Shockwave in one way or another throughout the run of the comics, being one of the secondary villains of the Dark Cybertron run. Which, to be completely honest, I haven't read all of, only Waspinator's Spotlight issue, from a Frilly 30 Waspinator packing comic. But Tarantulas is a recurring threat in the comics, and his face can be seen on the menu of McAdam's Old Oil House in the Transformers Animated All-Spark Almanac books. Unfortunately, the half Scorpion, half Cobra Quick Strike has not been quite so lucky. Aside from another cameo in the All-Spark Almanac guidebooks as yet again another face on the McAdam's Old Oil House menu, the only notable things Quick Strike has done in recent years has been the colour inspiration for the Dark of the Moon Darksteel retool of their Sideswipe mould, and being flattened by the Cyberverse Mercenary Wild Wheel in Volume 2 of the My Little Pony Transformers crossover comic. Aside from that, Quick Strike has had little respect from anyone apart from the third-party company Transart Toys, who made a masterpiece version of him last year. I'll get around to reviewing that figure when I get the chance, along with the Transart version of Transmetal Tarantulas and Blackarachnia. But, of course, from Blackarachnia's popularity came the Maleficent helmeted helicopter Decepticon known as Airachnid, whose robot mode has a secondary sort of spider centaur form, using her helicopter blades as spider legs, where basically the robot legs tuck up into the tail section of the helicopter while still maintaining the robot head, arms and torso. She was one of the main villains of Transformers Prime, the animated series, as a nemesis of the Autobot RC, and the one who murdered RC's former partner in crime fighting, Tailgate, back on Cybertron during the war. This version of Airachnid was also able to control the Insecticon race of giant Hercules Beetle-esque robots led by Hardshell. Unfortunately, most of the Insecticons got possessed by the Terracon zombie virus of Dark Energon infusion and ended up basically destroying Airachnid in a colony on one of Cybertron's moons at the end of the series. Airachnid was also responsible for the first death of a Decepticon Breakdown, whose body was later commandeered by the human mech terrorist organization leader Silas to become a sort of black and grey repaint version of Breakdown, which again was only sold in Japan. Curse you, Takara. We never did get the American release of the Voyager Breakdown mold until the Prime 10th anniversary Viacon Breakdown 2-pack that came out a couple of years ago, but I'll come back to that another time. So, Airachnid was also seen in the Star Trek vs. Transformers and My Little Pony vs. Transformers crossover comics by IDW Publishing, as she was adapted back into the world of the G1 cartoon series by the crossover comics and such. She was also a minor recurring threat in the Transformers 1 movie among the early rising ranks of the Decepticons. But I haven't seen that movie at the time of recording this video, so I can't go into too much detail about that at the moment. And of course, going back to Blackarachnia for a moment, she too was a member of the Eucharis colony in the Transformers IDW comics run. I haven't read the 2021 Beast Wars comics, but I know Tarantulas and Blackarachnia were both involved in that series, and Blackarachnia also had a role in the War for Cybertron Kingdom cartoon. Although Tarantulas didn't appear until Legacy Evolution, so he wasn't involved in the War for Cybertron trilogy cartoons. Which is a nuisance, because I would have loved to have seen what they did with him in that series if they'd had the chance, and because of their poor reception of the War for Cybertron trilogy, Netflix never got a cartoon adaptation of the Legacy series. Which again is a nuisance, because I would have loved to have seen the way the Menasor was depicted on screen in that art style. But I digress. That more or less concludes my history look back at Tarantulas, Blackarachnia and Airachnid. All three of them, plus also the half Cobra, half Scorpion Quick Strike, all of them have got recurring roles in one form or another as villains of one form or another, and sometimes ex-villains turned heroes. And before I leave off, I should also mention that both Blackarachnia and Tarantulas did appear in the Shattered Glass universe as well, with the black, silver and neon green Fox Kids repaint of Transmetal Tarantulas serving as the main colour inspiration for the Shattered Glass Tarantulas design. And of course, Blackarachnia's third, cancelled sequel to Beast Machines, Trans-Tech, was also used in the BotCon comics as a character design from another timeline. But, till then, I've been SoundBlaster1987, thanks again for watching. Since nobody bothered to answer my opinion poll about the November monthly vlog, I've decided to go ahead and make it the history of Maria Robotnik from the Sonic franchise, to tie in with my Shadow the Hedgehog month. Until then, I've been SoundBlaster1987, thanks again for watching. My next vlog will be in November, my look back at the history and origins of Maria Robotnik and her bond with Shadow the Hedgehog, as part of Shadowvember 2024. But my next video altogether will be my toy review of the 5-inch Shadow the Hedgehog figure from the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie line, the one with over 20 points of articulation. Till then, till all are one.